Okay, guys, I just want to do a review of our last class. I'm sorry, the video I did previously, there wasn't a sound. So right now, this is just a broadcast, not a live training. So I'm doing the broadcast for all my students, the obedient software students, to also um, follow along and code along with me. I will be doing the recording consequently when we commence our classes. I will doing this recording steady so that we can also learn as well. Now, we are learning front end. We are starting with the front end. I will also need to understand uh, who is a front end developer. No, so very simple. A front end developer is actually an individual who or a professional who writes code that controls the design or the interface of a particular application. They call them software engineers. We have back end and we have the front end. So before you can do that, you are required to have a few skills in HTML, CSS, and also little knowledge in JavaScript. But for the purpose of this training, we are starting from the HTML first because the HTML is like the foundation of every website. Let me compare the an engineer who is building a house. It's not possible for a civil engineer to build a complete house without blocks. So the same way as if an engineer in software programming, it is not also possible for you to build a software or a website without HTML. Now, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, while CSS stands for Cascading Style Shape. The HTML controls the the foundation, the basic, the blocks, and the CSS controls the design. Moving ahead, for you to start writing your program, you need just few software. You need a web browser. A web browser reads your HTML file. You can use it to view your website. When you are done coding, you use web Google Chrome to be able to view, to see what you have done if you are doing it very well, to see the results of what you have done. So you may do different thing in a code editor and you will see this different thing in a browser, in your web browser. So they have view web browser we can use to view our website. We can use Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and Opera menu. But I recommend using Google Chrome. The second software we are going to be needing for this course is code editor. Now, we have various different code editor, but I always use VS Code, very very popular. And to get this code editor is very simple. All you need to do is just come here and type VS Code. When type VS Code, the first link here, click on it, and you will be taken to a page where you will download this VS Code. Click on it, download and install it. And you also need to know that the VS Code currently does not give support for Windows 7. So if you're a Windows 7 user, I want you to go and upgrade your OS. Use the latest version. You can use Windows 8 or can use Windows 10. Now, if you are using 2 gig RAM, it's not also possible for you to put Windows 8 in 2 gig RAM. It will slow down your machine. It's advisable to upgrade the RAM to 4 gig. Let's move ahead. Let's just assume that we successfully download this VS Code, install and follow all the whole processes. Now, the another thing we're also going to be doing to moving ahead now at this courses, this class, another thing we're going to be doing is to start building our website. Now, as you can see here in my screen, we have the HTML document. Every website has HTML document. So the HTML document define and also tell the browser how to handle that particular document. Now, every document you are having in your local machine always come with document type. For instance, if you are working with PDF, if you want to open a PDF file, you will see it ending with .pdf. If you want to open Excel or Microsoft file, you will see it dot what? Microsoft. Now, the document you are seeing in my screen right now is an HTML document. I'm going to be explaining those unfamiliar code you are seeing, how to identify those code, and how those code works as well. Moving ahead, I'm going to be using Microsoft to explain what do HTML element look like. Now, when you look at that code, we have HTML element. Now, HTML element have a closing tag. Every element in your website has a closing tag and also an opening tag as well. Every element you are seeing in your HTML have an opening tag, must also have opening tag and a closing tag. Now, for you to have HTML document, for you to start writing the HTML document, you need to understand something. The files, you need to create a file first. Then that file must end with .html. Every HTML file must end with .html extension. Let's say, for instance, we want to build a site. Then we create a file called about us. Now this file must has a section, must end with an document type .html. Now if you didn't end with document type .html, the browser cannot handle this particular file. It will treat that file like just a normal text file. So for a browser to be able to handle or to read this particular document, it must start with .html. Very, very important. You need to know that. Now, another also thing is that when you are naming your file, it shouldn't have space. Your file name should not contain space. If it contains space, it will be difficult for your HTML, for your Google Chrome or your web browser to read this particular file. Moving ahead, as I said earlier, HTML document must have a opening tag. Sorry, element rather must have what? An opening tag, which is HTML. Now, opening tag comes with curly bracket open and curly bracket close. When a curly bracket, then you now write the tag of that element. Now this is HTML. Now this tag here indicate that any document that is going under this particular tag will be recognized and will be treated as HTML document. So for you to start writing your element, ensure that those elements are written inside the opening tag of your HTML and also the closing tag in between. So anything you are writing outside the closing tag of your HTML will not be treated as an HTML document despite having .html. Now this is our opening tag. Then we're also going to having our closing tag. The closing tag comes with angle bracket /HTML. So you can see here, this here is the closing tag, the close tag. This is the close tag, opening tag, and this also is the close tag. As you can see here, this is an opening tag and this is the close tag. So every element in HTML have closing tags, while some does not have closing tags. I will be explaining to you further on those elements who don't have an opening tag. Another thing we also going to be having is the head. The head also have a closing tag. This is a closing tag. Now the head in question serve as the head of your website. Now the head of anything in between the head is not visible to the browser. Anything in between the head contains the title, contains your JavaScript links, contains your CSS linking, contain your meta tags and your search engine tags. Those search engine tags helps you, they actually um um make your site visible to Google. We are going to be talking about that in our later class, but let's talk about the head. Let me show you example of the head of a website. Now, when it comes to this website, for instance, let me just say we have Skyline ICT, for instance. Let's visit Skyline ICT official website. Let's use that explanation for the head. Now, this is Skyline ICT website. When you look at this particular option here, on the browser, they are on their browser tab, you will notice that we have home Skyline ICT Port Harcourt. So this is actually the title of my website, and this is what Google used to make your site visible when people cite a similar keyword. So it's also advisable to put the title of your site in between the opening tag of your head and the closing tag of your head as well. So here we have the tag to the closing tag. Let's move ahead to the body of the site. Sorry. We can decide, okay, the title, sorry, then we have a closing tag of our title. Let me close it. Another thing also, if you notice what we've done so far, everything, all the tags are in between the HTML closing tag and the HTML opening tag. Now, another thing we also need to add is the body. The body. And this is the body of our element. Now, the body, in between the body tag, is where you write all the elements that will be visible to the browser. Your heading, your header, your H1, your paragraph P, your H arrow angle breaker, every element you are writing in an HTML document is that will be visible to the browser is in between your body elements. It's in between your body element. Let's move ahead. Now, I've explained this earlier. The a document type define the document of an HTML element 5. Why the HTML element is the root element of your HTML page. The header contains the matter information. And I said that whatever is in between the header is not visible to the browser. Like the title, specify the title of that HTML document, which can be shown in what? In the title bar of your browser. We have done that. The body. Now the body define the body of your element, the containers that houses all your HTML document. These documents are visible to the browser. Now let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Okay, here we're going to be starting with our writing our first website. Now, to write our first website, we need to create a document. We need to create a document. For you to start building your website, you must create a folder first. A folder that contains all your website documents. The files, the images, CSS, JavaScript must come inside the folder if you are working locally. But if you are working live, you also need to create a folder and read into those folder. The first thing we are going to do is to create a folder. How can we create a folder for our website? We will come here. If you are creating a folder for products or any kind of website as well, you come here and click folder. I will say training website 3. So training website 3. Now I have successfully created my folder. The next thing we're also going to be doing is to open our VS Code. To open our VS Code so that we can understand, we can start making use of our VS Code, then start writing our program. To open your VS Code, you can see your VS Code here on your local machine in your desktop. If you can't see that in your desktop, you can also search here by typing VS. It automatically comes up. Then you can just click here and then you can click open. But I'm not going to be doing that. I'll be opening directly from my desktop um, environment. To open your VS Code, click here and click on open. Let's move ahead. Now, if it's your first time on opening VS Code, you will see a similar environment like this. Now, here we have the stats where you can create a file or open existing work from existing document. We also have the walkthrough where you will learn this is actually for them where you will learn fundamentals. Then we have the recent project. If you worked maybe if you've done recent few job, this is where you see all your recent jobs. You just click on it and continue from there. Now what we are going to be doing next to be creating our folder. To create a folder, click on this particular place, or you can just come here. Remember, we already have a folder we have created, so we are not creating any folder. To open our folder, come here and click on open. Locate the location or look for the location of a folder we recently create. As you all notice, I created this folder in my desktop environment. I think it should be training, so training 3. So here is my folder. I click on it and click on select folder. We've created, we've opened our folder. The next thing we're going to be doing is to create our files, HTML document to start building our first web application. To do this, you don't need to just do to come here and click on new folder. If you can't see this option here, you just click on this title bar here, explore. Then here is where you create a new file. Here is where you create your folder. To create my folder, all I need to do is just click on this place and to type the name of that folder. I will say, okay, I don't need to create the folder. I already have my folder. I can just, okay, let me create the folder images, but we'll come to that. Let me just create a file. I can say home dot html. Then you enter. When I click on home dot html, you can see here it's indicating this is an HTML document. Now, the first thing we are going to be doing, as you all know, as I've explained earlier, is to start writing what our programs. Every HTML element start with HTML, HTML, and will come with the closing tag. And as you can notice here, are supposed to be having what we call an autocomplete or a placeholder, but there is no such placeholder. I'm going to be also be looking at if my VS Code is seeing my interpreter rather or compiler is seeing my file as an HTML document. To do that, I can come in here. I can come in here and click. You can see when you come to the footer of my VS Code, you notice that we are seeing the Django template, which is not supposed to be so. So I'm going to be telling my compiler or interpreter to interpret this file as an HTML document. So when you click on here, you have a pop-up here. Type HTML. Here we have our HTML. Then we click on it. If we come here, you will look at it and see our interpreter. Now to have our HTML element, we need the HTML opening tag and word and closing tag. Probably also we need a document type. And it's okay, document type. To get this, shift press 1. Document. Can you write document? To be able to have that. Okay. Okay, sorry guys. I have to give my opening tag. Alright. Then document. The next one we're having here is HTML. 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 Then our closing tag. The next thing we're going to be having is the header. Head. I already explained what the head does, so I don't need to be explaining that. Next one is the title. So in between the header, we have the title of our website. It's okay, Skyline ICT training. Now, if you notice, in between this header, this is the closing tag. In between the title, this is the closing tag. In between the header, this is the closing tag. Anything in between, inside the header, opening tag of the header, and the closing tag of the head, is not visible to the browser. So let's save our website. To save, all you need to do is to come here and click on save, or you can just use Ctrl X to save. Now, it's time for us to view our first website. If you have done this, congratulations, you have built your first web application. Moving ahead, let me open my file. Now, to open my file or to read this file we just created, we need to locate the place where we store or where we created our folder. We created it in the desktop. I can just minimize and come to the desktop. Here we have the folder, the application. Click on it and open. Now if you are not seeing your file, or maybe you don't have Google Chrome as a default logo of your HTML file, it's either you are having a different browser as default. So to use Google Chrome to open this particular application, all you need to do is to right click here and open it. Then open it here. You can choose any of the browser you want to use in reading a particular website. Now we have done that. Now if you notice, we are having an empty document. But when you look up to this browser tag, you will see Skyline ICT training. That is our title, the title of our website. Now let's move ahead. Next thing we're going to be doing is to also learn on how you can open your folder without um without going through all this whole process of opening, going through your folder and reloading. So we are going to be learning how to do that right now. Now, what you need to do if you want to open your folder without going through those process, come to the particular file to explore. Maybe perhaps you forgot how to where you store your where you save your file and you want to read this file. What you need to do is to come here, right click, and click on X review file explorer. When you click on it, it will automatically take you to this position. Then you can also read your file from there. Another thing I also want you guys to know, another thing I also want you guys to know, we have uh, a live server. Now this live server, you don't necessarily need to be reloading every time you save your document. I didn't tell you this on our Google Meet class. So in order to save your file and read it automatically um, without reloading, you have to install um, a plugin called Go Live. To install Go Live in your server, what this Go Live does is that it automatically reload your site without you reloading it. So whenever you save those changes, it will be automatically reload. You will see those changes immediately, even without going to your web browser to reload it. So it's also advisable to use that to easy the stress and also to minimize the time. Moving ahead, we are going to be installing Go Live. Come to this section. You must be connected to the internet in order to install this Go Live. Go to this section, click on extension. When you click on extension, here type Go Live. Go Live. We have it here. I think I've already installed it. This is another extension. Live, can see live. Okay, live server. I think it should be live server. You should have live server here. Live server. This is the live server. So type live server here. Then what you need to do to install it. When you install it, you will see it in a browser here. Now let me disconnect my live. You will see it in a browser here. They will ask you to go live. Let me minimize my window and also minimize my. Let have. Let me minimize that. Okay, moving ahead. Now, currently I am not live. I am not live. For me to go live, I need to do is to click on here, this particular option here, live. I'm currently live. You can see my IP address here is port 555. Now moving ahead, moving ahead, let me make sure that I'm getting the whole thing. Okay, let, let's just do this. Okay, then let me just do this a bit too. All right, I don't want to show you the live option. Now, next thing I'm going to be having is the body. I like using shortcut, the body. Then we have the header. Now, heading in HTML comes with H1. We have like H1, H2, H3. Sorry guys, I think we have H1, H, H2, nice, H3, H4, H5, H6, H7. Sorry, it ends in H6. Now, the higher the number, the lower the characters of each document. So as you can see here, as I'm typing already, you can see it here. It will appear here. So this is what the work of a live server. This is actually the work of a live server. So it's advisable for you to install a live server. If there any section you don't understand, anything you are not getting right, kindly DM me on WhatsApp. I will be able to fix that as well. These classes were both A and B classes. Now, the H1, H2, H3. Now, H1 define the larger header of your content. H2, H3, H4. So the higher the head in numbers, the lower the size of the content. So let's just do this. Here we have H1 close. Then this is my heading one. Then we can come here, look at it. It reload automatically. It reload automatically. When you look at it, you can see the IP address of our site. We are currently live. Next thing we're also going to do here is H2. This is H2. This is heading 2. When you notice here, the sizes are not the same. So the higher the number, the lower the font of the size. Most of you who read news online, you look at every news have head. So you use the head to be able to know the sizes of your documents. Now moving ahead, and I said earlier, I think I have to. I've said earlier, I prefer using shortcut. I'll be introducing to you a shortcut that I use. Since I started using them, it have actually easier some of my programming processes. So I will be showing to you those let's say those few shortcuts I'll be using. The more when we gradually proceed into the classes, we also introduce more shortcuts in the future. Moving ahead, I'll be introducing to you to shortcut on how you can generate this HTML document just click with just one single code. You can automatically generate all this HTML document. It took us few minutes to do this, but with just a second or 2 seconds, you can be able to generate this automatically. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be removing all this file. Now okay, to to do that, you don't need to hold the control and one to get this particular element. Control and one. Now control and one, you will see this few element. Don't click on shift. You click on shift and enter, it will not work. So make sure that their cursor is actually at that particular spot. Don't click space, don't shift. So click on shift one, click on enter. It will automatically be generated. Now, before this thing to work, you must make sure your interpreter is seeing your file as an HTML type document. Okay, so what we need to do, I don't need to explain any of this, but this tag element, I will explain this later in our classes as we proceed. Okay, this is say Skyline ICT training, Skyline training. Now this Skyline training we can save. Let it load. I think our server is no, is it working? Okay, it's not working. Then no, what's the issue? Let it connect and connect back. Okay, okay, good. We are in the live server now. Okay, we are connected. Moving ahead, let's get our H1 document. Now, another thing also I would like to do is that I prefer working with shortcut. To have a shortcut, to automatically have an opening tag and closing tag without writing this. Like for instance, I want to write H. We know H is for header. Used to control the heading of your document. Then the H, when you click on H, enter, it automatically generates opening tag and closing tag without you writing those elements complete. Let's say this is my heading one. Another thing we're also going to be doing is to see how we can generate multiple elements. Let's say, for instance, we have about 6 elements to write. I will not be typing all this manually. So what I'm going to be doing is I'll come here and write H. Let's say I want to generate 6H1 element or 6H2 element. I got a H2. Then times the numbers of elements I want to generate. Let's say 5. Maybe you click on it, it will generate those H2 elements. So what you need to do is just say, okay, this is just write this is my heading 2. Let's change this to 3. Change this to 3. This is my heading 3. This 3. Okay, this is 4, right? 4, 4. This is my heading 4. Then 5, 5. This is this is my heading 5. 6. I hope 6. This is my heading 6. So we have heading 1 to heading 6. So I don't need to explain anything here. The higher the number, the lower the font. The lower the number, the higher the font. So another thing also we're going to be doing next is paragraph. How to add paragraph in our website. To add paragraph, you need an opening tag and a closing tag of an element. So for the sake of this code, let me just copy some information. Let me copy some information on my website. Um, I need to maximize this page. So let me copy few information. Let me copy few information. Oh, sorry guys. Actually, I have to be. Okay, let's see. I like reading Naira Land a lot. Let me just go there and copy. Okay, let me say Vanguard News. I also like reading Vanguard News, one of the dailies. They are not biased like other newspaper. I don't read the. Okay, then let me read this. Or they go advance more on investment, not capital investment. Are you sure this one is still recording? Okay, still recording. Okay, now you can see this is the header. I was talking about header before. This is the head. Moving ahead. Let me copy. Okay, let me copy this. We'll go back to our code editor. Okay. To add the head, you don't need to P. Enter, opening tag and closing tag. The paragraph rather. Open tag and close tag of your paragraph. So let's come to our live server. As you see here, we have we have our we have our P already. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to be introducing to you to what we call break. You can use break. You can use break. Go to my withdrawal. So I'm going to break this code. Now to break this, what I need to do is to come here and use to break this code, BR. Now if you notice, this element does have a closing tag. So the element that has opening tag but does not have a closing tag, those elements we call it empty element or element that comes with attribute. They have attribute that explain more details about a particular element. So as you can see, we've actually uh, split these two elements. We break these two elements into two. Let me go back and copy another element there. Okay, let me copy this, and we also break this into two as well. Sorry guys, I need to. Okay, to break this element, we don't need another P. Then we paste this element here, paragraph. Then we are going to also break this element as well. So we break it from here, P arrow, P arrow, then enter. It will be broken into two. So this is what we have: the paragraph and the break. So we have seen the work of the paragraph and we have seen the work of the break. I also want to introduce you to element called um we call it horizontal element. It's also one of the uh element that don't they don't contain a closing tab as well. So to do that, we have each arrow, we close the tab. It automatically add the horizontal line in between your your website. So this is horizontal line. I think I've been able to explain to you the heading, paragraph. I believe everybody is following up. Let's move ahead. Let's go back to our book. We'll go back to our book. Then we've done that. Okay. We've done all this. We've done all this. All right. Let's go straight to element. Okay. Let me do a brief of explanation regarding this. Regarding this, for most who don't understand, um, every element has a closing tag, opening an angle and closing an angle tag, you have an opening tag element. You put your forward slash in that opening tag of your angle element and closing tag of the element. You have what we call the closing tag. The reason why I'm using this book to teach, so that my students will also get the book and code along with me. Moving forward, I think we've done about heading, we've done about paragraph, we've done about paragraph. I will explain what paragraph is all about, adding a paragraph. And also another thing I'm going to be looking at here is link, HTML link. Now, every HTML link has what we call attributes. I'll be explaining what attribute is all about and how to make use of attribute. Now, this is how to add links on your website. Let me explain something briefly. To add link on your website, you need an opening tag, which we call anchor tag. So anchor tag also comes with a closing tag. Now, this anchor tag is actually a tag you use to add word link or URL, universal resource word locator, or a path to your website. Now, every link comes with a path. Every link has what we call a path. For you to create a link, you must have the path of that link. It can be within your local machine or a path in a different browser. When they click on it, it will take them to that website, to that path. Now we have what we call ref. Ref is actually stand as a attribute. So this is how you write your attribute. Now ref is just a attribute to the part of your element. This attribute contain the part of your element. The part of the element can say www.skylineict.com. Now every part element, every attribute element has what we call the properties and the value. So the ref element is the property, while the skylineict.com is the value. So this element we call attribute. They don't have a closing tab. They don't have an opening tag. What they have, they contain, they are found inside an opening tag of any element in HTML. So they add more information in an HTML tag. So let's learn how to add our link. We have three types of link. We have the external link, we have internal link, and we also have the inline link. We are going to be looking on how to add external and internal link in our website. To do that, let's move ahead. To do that, what we need to do is to come here. We need to create another file. It doesn't need to create another file because um, this our file is becoming rowdy. To create another file, all we need to do is to come here and click on new. You can say links.html. Then you enter. Let me get my. I have to also change my interpreter. HTML. Enter. So can say link. Let's move ahead. To create a link, you need an anchor tag, opening tag, or an anchor tag, and also a closing tag on an anchor tag. I'm going to be having the first one, our inline link, the external link. To create an external link, now I just want to use a shortcut to do this, to achieve this. Then click on enter. You can see we have the ref. Now this ref here, where are we? Where is the part of our element? Let's just say, okay, you want it to take, do this part to take you to skylineict.com. I come here. Okay, I come here. I will copy the path and paste here. All this CTP is not necessary. I copy the path and paste here. Now in back here, in between the opening tag and closing tag is where you will add the write-up. I can see nothing I've displayed yet. Is where you add the write-up. To add the write-up, what I need to do is to come here and say, okay, um, visit our website. Then we save. We also need to explore. To explore this, what I need to do is just come here, remove this, and say link.html. Okay, cannot get link. Okay, dot html, html, links s. Okay, we have it here. Here is our website. This is our website. This is an external link. Another one we're going to be having is internal link. Internal linking. Now, internal linking is in between the root directory of our website. For example, I want to go back to the home directory of my website. So that's the internal link. It's in between the root directory, the link in between the root directory or the root folder of your website. So to create that, it's almost the similar thing but different. A and click enter. Now to access all the documents in your site or in your folder, in the document, the folder, the directories in your local machine, you just need to click forward slash. In this forward slash, you will see all the list of documents or files you want to link the path to. I'm linking it to my home. I'll choose and click home.html. After I've done that, after I've done that, here you can remove this slash. Make sure you remove this slash. The reason why I added this slash is to enable us get access to all our site directory, all the directory we have in our local machine. Then here I will just type, click here to go home, to go back. We have click here to go back. If you notice, there should be a break. We need to break this thing, split it to have a new line. What we need to do to come here and add our dr break. So here we can also add more anchor link about us, about us, then contact us, then we have register. One word again, have the login. If you don't, if you notice, we have not created these files. So what we need to do, if you don't have access to those files, just add hash. That means it's a link, but you don't want it to be taking us anywhere. So let's look at our file. We're actually going to be breaking this. In the future, we will learn about block element and inline element. So the block element automatically create a new line and a paragraph. Why inline element does not create any new line? We're going to be looking into those elements later. Let's just say, okay, I just need to do is to add break. Here, add my B arrow, add my B arrow, add my B arrow, add my B arrow. So let's see what happened. Here we have all our elements. About us, it can't take you anywhere if you click on it. Then if you click here, it will take you to home. You can go back. So this is how you can add links to your website. No, let's move ahead. Let's move ahead so that you can be able to finish up. Okay, next one here we have images. How to add images on your website. Now, to add images, as I said earlier, you need img tag. So you need an img tag, and then the resource, also the width and the height of that image. Every image has a weight and also has the height. We are going to be learning how to add image on our website. To do that quickly, you can just go to our home. This is our home, to add images on our website. Now I want to add image here. So what I need to do, I need img tag. Inside the img tag is also one of the tags that don't have a closing tag. They just have the opening tag. This is what we need to use. But I'm going to be using shortcut that will generate both the attribute and everything I need. Now, when you look at these images here, we'll be, you will see we have the source. The source simply means the path to where you can get this image. Where are you storing this image? Now, if you are working, I think I'm doing in a different environment. Sorry, guys. I'm doing in a different environment. Okay, let's go back to your environment. So now, in order to add image in our website, we need to create image folder. An image folder that will enable us to add image in our website. So we need to do that. First to create the image folder and then copy image and add in our folder. To access to the folder, my website folder, I just need to just come here and click on explore. Then here I'm going to be creating an image folder inside my local machine, image. After I've done that, after I've done that, I will be copying images. I don't actually have images like the class we did yesterday. Let me go and copy the image then. Okay, let me copy these images and then copy. Okay, this is training 3. You paste this image here. Now I'm also going to be copy this image to go and use it for illustration. All right, let's move ahead. Now, in my local machine, in my local machine, yeah, in my local machine, in our home, we have image, the one in the same directory with my HTML and my links, my home and my link. While another one we have the one in the different directory images. So we're going to be linking 3 different directories. One is external image where we can copy a site on a website and be able to read that particular image. We just copy the link of the image and read that image. Then also we're going to be reading image in a different folder and also in an external folder. To do that, we need an image link to achieve this. We need an image link to achieve this. This is my home. So what I need to do, okay, this is my link rather, not home. Let's go back to my home. So what I need to do here is to, yeah, I'm going to be adding my image link, img, enter. Then in order to get all the folder in your, all the directory in your local machine, you need to click hash, forward slash. The first part I'm going to be linking now is the one in the same directory and then the one in the image folder. I'll be removing this, then we click on save. Let's see what happened. Let's go back to our home.html. Home.html. When you scroll down, you can see the image. You can see the image here. Now, this image has width and height. So we are going to be controlling the width and the height, adding more attribute. So we all need to do is to come here and add the width of our image. Let's say 500 pixel. Is it here? Then let's work a bit on the height as well. And say height should be 250 pixel. And here it will have our height. Let me copy this and put it in uh, between this, and let me also give it a arrow horizontal line. Let's see what happens. I think we are having our image now. So this is the image. I added the horizontal line. This is how we can. This is actually how we can link our image in between. Are we still recording? Okay, we're still recording. This is how we can add our images in between our our browser. So another thing we're also going to be doing here is to see. I wanna be doing this. This is the last time I'm going to be doing this video. But on our classes, we'll be recording our live video. Then we also uploading our YouTube channel. Though most people who do not meet up can also come there and watch the video as well. So the next thing we're going to be doing is linking the video, linking another image, external internal image with a another directory. Come here slash add your slash, then you have your image img. Sorry guys, slash. Then we have image two. Okay, image one two. Let me add image one. So this is it, and let's see what happened. You see happen this you have this large image. I need to control the width 500, the height 250. Let's see what happened. I think the height will give you the height like 300. That should be, oh, that could serve us well. Then let's add what is all this now? Let's add horizontal line to give it this CSS, make the appearance look good. Okay, I also added the horizontal line as well. So moving ahead, we're also going to be linking from external website. Let me say, for instance, I want to get something here in our website. Okay, in our company website, let me get a picture here. If I can get any of this picture, okay. Let me get this picture. Okay, here's the picture. Here is the picture. Then what I need to do is to copy this link. Then coming back to my VS Code, we should go back here. Come back to my VS Code. It's almost 60 minutes video. Wow. I think I have to end this video here. IMG. Then we paste. I'll click on save. And we have this big, large image. Then let also work. Let manage the height and the weight. The weight 500. The height. The height 500. We should have an ugly. Okay, you ruin everything, but notwithstanding, let's reduce the height a bit. Let's reduce the height a bit. All right. We also add our horizontal line. I like working with more of a horizontal line. H arrow. Then so this is what we have. I will call it a day for the class. So I urge you to go and watch this video. Very very important. Thank you guys for those who have stick by, and I will see you guys on our next class. Thank you, and God bless you all.